This is USVI News, your Virgin Islands connection.
Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us for USVI News. I'm Emily Matson. This pandemic has been hard on all of us, but especially for our educators who have had to endure months of uncertainty and really have had to alter how they teach to ensure our children continue to learn. And for that, they're honored. An online learning provider, Edmonton, honored school teachers and counselors for innovative online teaching during this now 2-year pandemic, especially during the height of it when educators had to keep students engaged and educated virtually. Recognition ceremonies honored standouts on St. Croix as well as the St. Thomas and St. John district. It was all to highlight those educators who displayed tremendous leadership, skill, and passion using online technology to ensure students could continue to learn while schools were closed because of COVID-19. School administrators nominated the educators for their resiliency and creativity. Congratulations to all of these educators, as well as all the educators in the Virgin Islands who have gone above and beyond to help make sure our children continue to thrive. Cases of COVID-19 have continued to go down. They've gone down significantly yet another day. According to the latest numbers from the VI Department of Health, there are 212 active COVID-19 cases territory-wide, with 128 on St. Croix, 83 on St. Thomas, and just one case on St. John. A new CDC study shows that COVID-19 booster shots helped protect people against severe illness during the recent Omicron virus surge that we experienced. But the same study also shows the effectiveness of booster shots fades after 4 months. So reporter Lisa Adams wanted to know, should people get a 4th shot, which would be booster number 2?
The CDC looked at patient visits to hospitals and urgent care centers in 10 states during the Omicron explosion of cases. Those boosted were better protected against severe illness than those with only the original series of shots. Here's what's drawing attention, though. 2 months after a booster shot, protection against outpatient visits was 87%. But at 4 months after the booster fell to 66%. If that has you wanting another booster, the vaccine experts at UPMC Hammett say you can't do it yet.
Over time we have seen that, the efficacy of the vaccine, wanes over time. So it wouldn't be unexpected that we may see that come out, but right now, again, we're continuing to monitor that.
Second booster shots are available to people at very high risk if exposed to COVID-19.
There's patients that are transplant patients, are cancer patients, really folks that are at high risk.
I may sound like a broken record, but hospital officials here still say the people who need to be hospitalized are the ones who aren't vaccinated at all, so that's their big concern. The good news, though, is with the Omicron variant waning, right now only 28 people are hospitalized with COVID, only 4 needing intensive care.
But we're still seeing that the mortality, the people that are actually dying from COVID and that are really sick and ending up in our ICUs are unvaccinated people and obviously folks that are immunocompromised. So that's why we're really focusing on getting those really people at risk, those sick patients, to get that booster.
Many hospitals and clinics across the nation will have supplies and be able to pivot and offer those second booster shots. But until then, again, they're focusing on getting the unvaccinated their shots. U.S. troops are headed to Poland as tensions ramp up in Eastern Europe. 3,000 soldiers at Fort Bragg are deploying in an effort to show support for NATO allies amid rumblings of a possible Russian invasion of Ukraine. The U.S. is also temporarily relocating the American embassy in Ukraine away from the buildup of Russian forces near the border. The president of Ukraine, citing media reports, says an attack could come as early as this Wednesday. Ukraine might be far away, but a Russian invasion there could cost you money at home. Here are 4 ways your wallet may take a hit. 1, you might have to pay more for gas. That's because Russia is the world's 2nd largest producer of oil and prices are already spiking. 2, global food prices could increase. Russia is the world's top exporter of wheat, and Ukraine produces wheat and corn. 3, you might have to pay more in interest on your next loan. The Federal Reserve is already hinting it'll raise interest rates. Increased inflation would add to its motivation. 4, you might take a hit to your stock portfolio, since investors know the world economy is connected. Many Americans ditched cable television years ago, thinking they could save money by subscribing to streaming networks. But reporter Lila Luciano adds up the prices and explains what's driving them up right now.
Keeping up with content in the age of streaming isn't just a time suck, it's expensive.
I've realized, once you have a few of them, it becomes almost like a car payment.
Any streaming platform that you can imagine, I'm subscribing to right now.
As streaming services multiply, so does the monthly bill for viewers.
I love this man.
Amazon announced it's bumping its annual Prime subscription by $20, and Netflix raised its monthly rate by up to $2. The company hopes it's a small price to pay for picking what you want to watch or binging new seasons of The Crown or Ozark.
Money. That which separates the haves from the have-nots.
Where does it end?
It ends at which point where consumers stop, they start leaving the service or they stop subscribing. But I think that's a ways off, especially if you're raising prices incrementally over time.
Entertainment researcher Paul Erickson says the price hikes are part inflation and part competition.
Services really see content as their weapon to ensure that people subscribe and they stay subscribed in this dog-eat-dog environment.
In 2021, Netflix spent an estimated $17 billion on content, including Oscar-nominated films. But experts say the next move is getting more live sports on streaming apps, and that will just continue to push prices up.
Are we at that point where it's more expensive to subscribe to all these streamers than the old cable?
I mean, you selected a lot of this content in these services, and what you're getting for that money, it's more relevant to you, and that's the important part.